and welcome to Educate Our Youth live broadcast. I'm your host, Janet Keith Thompson, co founder of the Mamie Keith and Eileen Bradley Educational Foundation, also known as Educate Our Youth. The mission of Educate Our Youth is to make college more accessible through education, mentoring, professional development, and any other means available to students by offering programs such as ACT and SAT workshops, tour college campuses, and assist with applying for financial aid, financial literacy, and young entrepreneurship. Glad to see you today. Our guest today is Ms. Tiffany Hunt Williams. She's with the United Community Bank. And today, Tiffany's going to give us the 411 on how to budget and save. But before we get started, Tiffany, give us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Tiffany. I am a native of Conway, South Carolina. I've been in banking for 20 plus years, from consumer to commercial.
Okay. Well, great. I didn't know you was in banking that long. That's a long time. Very long time. So tell me, Tiffany, what is financial literacy?
Okay, financial literacy is the understanding of key concepts and skills. This includes like your personal financial management, budgeting, and investing. When I would say with financial literacy, when you have the level of financial literacy that is strong, then this will make you have the financial success that you need in life.
Okay. Would you would in financial literacy would that include being able to reconcile a bank statement, understanding um understanding how what your interest is on your savings account, things like that nature? Would that be considered financial literacy?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Like for me, financial literacy, well, that means that I'm pretty good at it. If I could reconcile my bank statement, and if I'm aware of what my savings is yielding, annually or monthly, would that say I have a good insight about banking?
It's coming through muffle. I can't really hear
You
you.
can't hear me? Okay. No, I was just talking about financial literacy. Would I, if I knew how the system worked, or if I knew how to reconcile my bank statement, would that mean that I know a little bit about banking? You still can't hear me?
I'm sorry, Janet. It's coming through muffle. I can't hardly hear
Oh
anything that you're
wow.
saying.
Okay, let me try something else.
Okay.
Let's talk about the budget. What is a budget? Take your earbuds off and see if that will help.
I, I, it's coming. You're sounding muffled on my end. I can't. It's
Okay,
very slow.
1 second. Look at the left right side of your screen in the private chat. You see what I ask you? Take your earbuds out. Did you take your earbuds out?
Yes, they are off, but you're still sounding kind of muffled and slow.
Okay. Well, can you hear this question? What is a budget? Are you able to hear that?
Say that again. I'm
What
sorry.
is a budget?
It's
Okay, I'm gonna send you the question in the chat. Okay.
okay. Okay. Okay. What is a budget? A
Yeah.
budget is whatever you make it to be. A
Okay.
budget can be it's a simple spending plan that takes into account both current and future income and expenses. For having a budget, It keeps you on track and make sure that your savings, that you're on track with your savings for your future.
Okay, audience, for those that's listening, we'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. We're going to have some technical difficulties and we're going to straighten that out for you. So don't leave us. Okay, are we good? All righty then. Can you hear me? No. We're going back to commercial. We'll be right back.
If you want to support Black-owned and operated businesses in the Grand Strand area and beyond, check out thenetworkconnects.com for a complete list of establishments in our local area. Our network connects Black businesses to community for a wide range of services, products, organizations, and resources that are viable in the African American community. You'll find a wide range of products and services that'll fit your needs, along with information about events and happenings around the local communities. Check out thenetworkconnects.com, connecting Black businesses to community. Thenetworkconnects.com.
Hey, okay. Still having.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
And I'm not muffled.
Right, you're not muffled. I can hear
you. Okay, so we're going to start this over.
Okay.
And we're going to ask, what is financial literacy?
Okay. Financial literacy is the key financial concepts and skills of saving. This includes personal management, budgeting, and investing.
Okay.
So, like, I also tell people that, when you understand financial literacy, then you will understand how to save a little bit better for the future.
Right. Sounds great. And do you think most people understand financial literacy?
Some people have like a little understanding, but they don't know a lot of it because there's so much that goes into financial literacy. You basically have to know the concept of what you want to do as far as like saving money. You have to have.
I got you. So what's the budget for the audience?
A budget is what you would like for it to be. You set your budget. Mainly what you want the budget to do is that you want to simply take into account both current and future income expenses into the account. So having a budget keeps you on check with your spending, so you won't overextend yourself.
It really does. Now I have a book that I keep, which lists all incoming funding, all money's coming into the home. Everything has to be paid out. Yeah, and so I can see exactly what we're doing each month, and what we have left over, to put here, put there.
Right. And that's why I normally tell people, like, if you're getting ready to start a budget and you don't know where to start, write down all your bills. Down all your bills that come in at the first of the month, or your bills that come in at the end of the month. So therefore, if you can see it, then it's like, okay, it makes more sense. Then you can see where your money is going and what you're spending more money on, like as far as like entertainment purposes.
You are so right, Tiffany, because that's exactly what I do. I write down, the 15th, 1st, and the 15th of everything that's coming. Yeah, what's coming in, everything's going out, and we can see what we're doing. Because one pay period we may spend a little more than we should.
Right.
And then we know to hold back, and for the next one, okay, well, we didn't cover something because we overspent. So that it really helps a lot. I've been doing that for a very long time, and it's helped. So how do you save for rainy days?
Well, the first thing, you have to create a habit for saving.
Okay.
You have to think about the future. about what's going to happen in the future, because, you know, especially with the pandemic, that taught a lot of people that, you know, we have to have a rainy day fund, because before the pandemic, it was probably about 3 to 6 months of savings that you have to have, but now you have to have 6 to 12 months. So I would suggest that, you know, try to challenge yourself, like, you know, try a money savings challenge to say, okay, every $5 that I get, I'm going to put in a jar or I'm going to put in this envelope and I'm going to just tuck it away.
Right. So you said you saved 6 to 12. So was it 6 to 12 months? 6 to 12 months. Now that can be kind of hard, but those 6 to 12 months is supposed to be able to cover rent or mortgage or
right.
If something was to happen, if you lose your job, or let's say with COVID, you know, or you're out sick, so 6 to 12 months of saving should cover. Well, I was told you're supposed to save enough to cover that monthly mortgage or monthly rent, car note, things of that nature.
And, you know, we also have to take in mind that, you know, life happens.
Yes.
And most people can't save that 6 to 12 months, but if you get close to it, you know, that way when something comes up, you won't be in a panic to say, oh, I have to rob Peter to pay Paul. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you start out small and then you just build your way up to it.
And you know, Tiffany, when you're young, that is so hard to do. But as you get older, and you realize that, as in my mother's words, you don't pull the last button off Abraham's jacket, you need to have some savings, something to fall back on, you know. So tell me what's the best money advice for the audience?
Well, first of all, I would say don't live beyond your means.
Okay.
Here I have a couple right here. You know, you don't have to buy everything that comes out on the market.
Right.
You know, that's far as the latest gadget, the new, because, you know, especially with kids, they would like to have the newest iPhone. When I say don't live beyond your means, it also says that, you know, if you know this is something that's coming up, you would like to budget for it. You know, set aside some money for that. Setting a budget will, you know, help you build up your cash so that you can purchase that item. But then again, like I said, you don't want to live beyond your means. So, you know, sometimes it's a want and not a need.
Exactly. Because I find myself I like to travel. Well, my husband and I both like to travel. So we'll save for that trip, you know, even if it's a year. So we'll save for that trip so that everything is covered on that trip. And we don't, and it doesn't affect the bills that's coming into the home, you know, so we can travel with ease, in other words. And I understand what you mean by not living beyond your means. Again, going back in my younger years, that happened sometime, that I would go over, although I was able to cover myself, and I was prepared for whatever circumstances. But it's a lot of stress when you living above your means and you know that something is due on the 10th, and you went and splurge, you know, either in the mall or at dinner or something, and that's when that should have stayed in your account. So I understand exactly what you mean. And speaking of don't live beyond your means, what advice would you give to parents that has teenagers that wants the Jordans or wants the iPhone? What would you suggest to them?
You have to explain to them, like, I understand you would love to have these Jordans, you would love to have this iPhone, but mommy and daddy have bills that come through this house. We have a roof over your head. We're providing a roof over your head, where we have to make sure that the electric bill stays on. You know, you have to explain to them, and then, you know, at that moment they're not going to understand because they want what they want. But, you know, in the long run, after you work with them and you let them know, like, hey, we will work towards this goal, you know, but the parents have to be like very strict on saying, hey, we can't afford it right now, you know.
And you're so true. Now, one of the things I did, and I don't know, as someone that worked in the banking system, when my children was young in high school, I showed them what was coming in. That same book I mentioned earlier, that's what I went by. I showed them what was coming in, and I showed them what mom had to pay out. So I couldn't get the sneakers this month,
Right.
you know, and they would understand, you know, but that was a different day and time, though, you know what I mean? But what they did, they understood, and it was okay, mom, you know. So when the time came, they got the sneakers, they got whatever it is that they was wanting, but only after everything was taken care of.
Right.
I didn't go into I did not pay mortgage so I could buy them some sneakers or buy a phone. Well, they didn't have phones back then, so you know that wasn't a worry at all. So my next thing is on your paying yourself first.
Now,
So let's talk about paying yourself first.
when you get your paycheck, you always want to set aside an amount for you. That's why I always say, when I get paid, I'm gonna pay myself first.
Okay.
And when you pay yourself, this is for, you know, this is how you will start your savings out once you start paying yourself first. So basically, when you pay yourself first, what you're going to do is you would set aside like a savings account. You'll have that money direct deposit into that account. You're not going to miss it.
Right.
If you don't touch it, you will not miss it.
Exactly. And this is paying yourself first is the best thing to do. That way you have your savings. But also tithing is you know, you know, you should tithe, because you will see the rewards from tithing, you know, if you do it like you're supposed to do it. So when you say 5%, that's 5% of your gross, of your net, right?
Of your net,
Of your net, okay.
And you know, technically you would like to do 5%, but if you can't do 5%, start 2%, 3%, you know, but you just put that money to the side. Like if you, like I said, you set up that savings account, this money you will never see.
Right. If you don't save but $30 a paycheck or 20, I mean, that's saying something, and that grows, right? Right. It grows into something larger, you know. So you talked about budget for short and long-term goals. So explain that.
Okay. So, and I'll put it into like, you know, in the kids generation, the short term is like getting groom, clothing, or entertainment.
Okay.
So it's like, you know, that's a short term goal for you. So you know that, let's say, in a couple of weeks, you know that you want to get your hair done, or you want to probably even go out with your friends. So that's a short term. So you know that, okay, I need to save a little bit of money because this is what I want to do. This is a short term. Yes. Far as long term, it's more like you're saving for, and this is on every child's like wish list, a car.
Okay. Yes.
You know, that's a long-term savings. And then of course when they go off to college, they have like housing if they get into an apartment, and then their spring break comes around, they have they would like to go on vacation.
Right. Right. And so for the long term, it would be wise if parents could have the kids to put back that money, just keep out enough to pay for lunch or go to the movies or whatever, but to save the majority of that paycheck for that car that they want at 17 years old, you know, because, and also save enough or if they could budget themselves where they could help mom and dad with the car insurance, because
Right.
that's
That,
kind of high. Yeah, it is. It is. So so one thing you can say that people are saving money, it can work. It doesn't have to be a large amount. It could be a
right.
small amount, but it's durable. Saving $20 a paycheck or whatever. And if you want to save for those nails to get done,
Right.
just decide on what I would do is that, like, okay, this month I want my nails done, or this paycheck check, and maybe go once a month to get the nails
Right.
done instead of every 2 weeks. And that way you're being more practical about the short terms.
And see, and again, that's where, that's a want and not a need. So,
Right. Yes.
yeah, so yes.
Exactly. Because long term would be also saving for a mortgage, down payment on a home, or saving for first month, second month rent if you're renting. So yeah, that would be great. So what else can you share with us before we go?
I would say that, don't think that, because if you're just putting $5 away, that's a small amount. Just think of it as that $5 will grow.
Right.
Each time that you put that $5 in there, it's growing. As long as you don't touch it, it will continue to grow.
Right.
5, 10, it will grow, and then you will feel accomplished and say, okay, this is what I saved. And you can see your money grow, because then after that, once your money start growing, then even though rates are not really where we want to be,
that's what I was thinking. Yes.
they're not where we like them to be, but you can actually talk with a financial advisor and help you along the way with that.
Okay, great. And should people, well, now a lot of people on their jobs have 401ks, IRAs, retirement. So, and this money should be kept where it is and not going into,
Yes. Because, if you're not of the, let's say the IRA, you would have to pay back that money to taxes, because, the IRA money is tax-free money that goes into the IRA. The same thing with the 401k. If you make a withdrawal, you're going to have to pay the taxes on it. So I would suggest that do not touch that, because that will help you in the long run. Because I know, as for myself, when I get retired, I don't believe there will be any Social Security. So,
yes, you will.
I'm just saying.
I know. My son say that too, but it will be. As long as there's United States military, we're gonna have Social Security.
So and and also with the 401k, like when the kids start going and start getting a job and getting a 401k, the bank will give you options on your 401k. So I would suggest that whenever you get a raise, up your 401k.
Okay. Yeah, because that's money that wasn't coming to you, so that's money you can put aside. Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. That worked perfectly. And then some people have to realize that they got to develop good habits.
Right.
To saving money.
It's all about your habits.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, Tiffany, you've been great. I hope that our listeners was inspired and want to start putting that money in the piggy bank or a big jug or basket, whatever you want to put it in, and let it accumulate and then take it to the bank. Because that's another thing you can do with your coins. Save, if you want to save your change, let it grow. Then take that change to the bank, convert it into dollars, and deposit it.
And I also have to say that, whether you bank with a financial institution or a credit union, they do have tools to help you to save.
Okay.
What you have to do is just go in and just speak with either a personal banker or customer service and say, hey, do you have any tools on how to help me save?
Right. Good advice. And I hope our listeners heard every word. And it's been fun having you on.
Thank you. Thanks for
very knowledgeable. And we'll have to bring you back in about 6 months to a year.
Okay.
For real, to see what's changed in the banking system, and and what you can share with our audience.
Okay.
All right. Pleasure having you, Tiffany.
Thank you. You have a great evening. Sorry.
You too. You too.